Hey church family, COVID-19 has touched each of us in different ways. Here at the church, it means that we can't minister in the same ways that we have ministered throughout the 90 plus years of our church's presence here on this corner. That's obvious when it comes to things like not being able to meet together in person for our weekend worship services. But something you don't see is that we also can't visit those in our congregation who are in the hospital because it's not allowed. Sometimes that's done to protect us, sometimes it's done to protect them. This past Sunday night, we had one of our ERBC Zoom prayer meetings. And with us on that Zoom call was a member of our church family who was joining us from his bed at Kaiser Hospital Sunset, where he's been admitted with COVID-19. I was so glad that he was on that call, because not only did it allow him to pray with us and others in our church for all the things that are going on in our world, but it gave us an opportunity to pray with and for him. It's hard when pastors can't visit church members in the hospital. Harder still is when family members can't visit members of their own family who are in the hospital. And even harder than that is when you're talking not about a hospital from which most people are released after a short stay, but instead a nursing home where people often are living out the rest of their lives. This week I was reading about a man named Jack Eckles. Jack Eckles is a longtime Baptist pastor with 2 doctoral degrees. And he's also someone who I would describe as a lifelong learner. And I say that because even at the age of 93, Jack Eckles is still learning. He's currently learning German and recently posted a sermon to YouTube. His wife of 70 years, Jerry, is the mother of their 9 children. 5 years ago in 2015, Jerry was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and as a result lives in a nursing home in North Carolina. Earlier this year, on March 12th, Jack Eckles arrived at that nursing home, just like he did every day, to visit his wife and spend much of the day with her. But on this day, he couldn't visit. On this day, he was turned away because of the coronavirus. Not willing to take no for an answer, the next day Jack Eckles returned with a suitcase full of clothes, a suitcase full of his books, his medications, and his computer. The nursing home had agreed to rent him a single room so he could care for his wife, Jerry. As I said, that was March 12th, and he's been there ever since. Wearing a mask and goggles, he feeds his wife 3 times a day, checks to be sure that she gets her required 40 ounces of liquid a day, and wipes drips so they don't stain her clothes. He positions Jerry's head and neck carefully to be sure she doesn't choke. Their profile in the Wall Street Journal is an inspiring story of love, family, and ministry. In it, Dr. Eckles explains his care for his wife simply by saying, "We're married. I want to be with her. She took care of me for 70 years, and now it's my turn." Jack and Jerry Eckles are a powerful example of a true Christian marriage, a lifelong, unconditional covenant between a man and a woman. As I was thinking about the marriage they've built, I realized that if through the years they'd only focused on their marriage for an hour each week and a few minutes each day, there's no way that their relationship could be the love story that it is today. The Bible tells us that as Christians, we are the bride of Christ. And if we focus on our spouse for only an hour each week for worship and maybe a few minutes each day for prayer and Bible study, how strong will our relationship be? Believing in God is one thing. Having a relationship with Him is another. Just like a marriage, having a relationship with God takes effort and time. When we prioritize our relationship with God, just like we would our relationship with our spouse, we can experience the benefits of a relationship that's not just special, but extraordinary. And it's my prayer that that would be the experience for each of us. Amen.